Well, if you're still struggling to make a decision on which college you'll be attending in the fall, you better make it quick. The deadline for accepted students to decide their next step is traditionally May 1st, but there's a lot of financial factors to consider when making this huge decision. Yahoo Finance's Rachelle Akuffo joins us with more. Hey, Rachelle.
Hey, Brad. So I want to focus on three key financial factors we should focus on: your FAFSA and deadlines, your resources, and your return on investment. So we'll start with FAFSA because there are lots of ways to pay for college, but the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is one of the most important. So it gives you one centralized place to apply for grants, federal loans, work study, jobs, and more. Now, recently, Scholarly by Sally founder Christopher Gray joined us on Yahoo Finance and talked about the biggest mistake prospective students make. Take a listen.
I think that just being able to start as early as you can. And if you do have to wait the last minute, that's fine. People have different responsibilities, but that is the biggest mistake. Waiting to the last minute and just having to rush and do all those essays and applications. You have to submit FAFSA forms. You have to do all those things.
Now, of course, that FAFSA deadline is June 30th, but many schools give on a first-come, first-served basis. And, of course, it varies by financial need. But keep in mind, there are no income limits to qualify, so don't think you or your family make too much. You can still apply. But, of course, do check for any variations when it comes to your specific college, as well as any state requirements as well. Next, I want to focus on resources. Now, you still have to formally accept the offer. They have just sent you an offer. You do still have to actually formally accept it, review and accept the financial aid offer as well, plus send the enrollment deposit. A lot of times people might be, celebrating, saying, buying all the merch. Please make sure you've actually accepted the offer and make sure that you check that specific college's requirements before you post that video. Now, if you're a little bit nervous because you were waitlisted or deferred, follow up immediately with a compelling letter of continued interest with any sort of added accolades since your original application. And don't forget to keep applying for funding for your next best college choices. Now, third, return on investment. Now, of course, we've got to talk about tuition. Now, the College Board expects the average tuition for the incoming 2024 freshmen to range from just under $14,000 for a national public two-year college to over $55,000 for a private four-year college. Obviously, a lot of range within this, so make sure that you're picking a college that makes sense for your pockets.
Yeah, and I was still at the top end of that range almost 12 years ago. Rachelle, that's my own bad financial decision. It paid off a little bit. But anyway, costs go beyond tuition, though, here as well. Break that down for us in that factor.
And that's true. That's something that people tend to forget. One of the things, obviously, we've been talking a lot about housing. You have to factor in your student housing beyond your tuition, your transportation costs if you're going to be living off campus, depending on your major, your technology and lab cost requirements as well. And then you really have to balance that with the value of the education that you're going to get. Is this the right place for you? Think about the alumni connections, what that opens up for you, some of these soft skills that may not make sense on paper, but when you're out there in the world trying to get a job, do make sense. Also, the job acceptance rates for graduates, some of the salaries also, not just for your major, but from that school once you graduate. So really take a holistic view when you're investing in your education here.
All right, thanks so much, Rachelle. Really breaking that down for us. A lot for families to think about ahead of decision day. Thanks. Exactly. Clock is ticking.